can't find nothing on the radio.
You ready, Steve?
Welcome to Songology. He's Bruce,
He's Richard.
and this is another episode from our Song of the Day archives.
Enjoy.
Welcome back, Bruce. What do we have for Song of the Day today?
Well, today, here in the mid-morning, we're going to talk about the night. Actually, how about that?
We don't know what time of day it is, but we'll talk about it.
Well, because we're talking about lights, right? And so
Yes.
we're going to talk about the night that the lights went out in Georgia.
Ah,
Yes. Now, do you remember the Carol Burnett show?
yes. Loved it.
Remember Vicki Lawrence?
Yes.
Well, this is Vicki Lawrence's hit song.
Oh,
Vicki was a one-hit wonder insofar. I mean, she did a lot of other things, performed for many, many years on TV. But in terms of charting singles, this was it. This was her trip to the pop stardom world. Vicki is a California girl. She was born in Inglewood, California, was always singing, dancing from a very young age. Not surprisingly, she was a cheerleader in high school and was voted most likely to succeed by her graduating class.
well,
So the story goes that during her last year of high school, Vicki Lawrence sent Carol Burnett a letter and said, "Gee, I'm a big fan. I would really, really love to work with you," as, brash young performers might do.
yeah.
"Gee, I'd really love to work with you." A big established person. That is, Vicki included in this a newspaper clipping from the local newspaper that pointed out the physical resemblance between Vicki Lawrence and Carol Burnett.
Yeah.
Well, gee, doesn't she look like Carol Burnett's kid sister sort of thing? And the reason why she was in the paper was because, you'll like this bit, being a sometime volunteer firefighter, she had been named Miss Fireball of the local fire department.
Okay.
And in this letter that she wrote to Carol Burnett, she invited Carol Burnett, "Well, come down because I'm performing at the Miss Fireball night."
Yeah.
And as it turned out, as fate would have it, Carol Burnett happened to be looking for an actress who would play her kid sister in this new variety series they were putting together.
Yeah.
And so, lo and behold, Carol Burnett goes to the Miss Fireball night and sees Vicki Lawrence and is impressed and says, "Hey, kid, how'd you like to come and work with me?" And so the rest is history.
Yeah.
Spent many years working with Carol Burnett and Harvey Korman and Tim Conway, the old gang, and then had her own show. They spun off, you may recall. They did that skit. She played the character of Mama, and Carol Burnett was her daughter.
Yes.
I don't remember who Harvey and Tim were, but they were other relatives or what they were.
I sort of think Tim Conway was like a son or something, because he always
Or a
wore the
cousin or
baseball
something
cap
like
with
that.
the
Yeah.
top up, and Harvey
Yeah.
Korman was like the grumpy old father.
Yeah, that kind of thing. Well, in the early 70s, Vicki Lawrence was married to a guy by the name of Bobby Russell. And Bobby Russell was a songwriter. He'd written a song, there's a kind of a sappy little tune called Honey that was a hit for Bobby Goldsboro in the late 60s. I don't know if that rings any bells. Bobby Russell had written that. That was sort of his claim to fame. Bobby wrote The Night the Lights Went Out in Georgia. And he thought it was okay, but he wasn't really big on it. He didn't sort of think much of it. Couldn't really find anybody who was interested in it. It was apparently offered to Cher, but it never got as far as Cher because Sonny Bono, right? Sonny and Cher. Sonny was doing the managing and all the business stuff. Sonny heard the song, looked it over, decided he didn't like it, and turned it down. Apparently, Cher was a bit miffed when she found out later because it ended up being a #1 hit for Vicki Lawrence. Vicki quite liked the song, and because it didn't seem to be doing anything, but she recorded it, and it took off, and it was a huge hit for her. It's a kind of a weird little song in some ways. I don't think it's really, we can't really say that you don't have to give a spoiler alert. Let's put it that way. You don't have to give a spoiler alert for a song that came out in 1973.
Yeah.
So the song tells the story of a guy who comes home from away somewhere, and he stops at the local watering hole where his friend Andy, who apparently is the bartender or something like that, reveals that Andy has been messing around with this guy's wife, who has also been with somebody else. So the fellow is very upset. He goes home, and he finds the only thing that his father had left him, and that was a gun. So, this being Georgia, he takes his gun and he goes over to Andy's house. Not really quite clear why, but, he's taking his gun along, so you have to be Albert Einstein to figure that one out. But he discovers that Andy's already dead. So what does he do to flag down the local police? He fires a shot. Smart move.
Uh-huh.
And so he gets strung up for murder before it is revealed that, in fact, the perpetrator of the murder and the murder of his cheating bride, it's not recorded what happens to Seth, the other guy who's messing around with the bride, is in fact the husband's younger sister, who is the character that Vicki is being in all of this. It's a kind of a weird little tune.
Uh-huh.
And yet, it's catchy.
Yeah.
So let us consider the night that the lights went out in Georgia.
And as usual, I have to stop it right there due to the fair use rules on YouTube. If you haven't already, please subscribe. You can check us out on Facebook or head over to our website, which is songology.ca. Now, here's your chance to listen to the music or go on to the next episode.